Wednesday night racing back to Happy Valley this week, and we have got a 9-race program. Welcome to Racing to Win. This is Hong Kong's twice weekly preview show. Joined on the panel today by Paul Lully and Tom Wood. And Tom, it looks a pretty open race card on Wednesday night.
It certainly does, Mark, but race number 6 on the card looks a ripping affair. It's a Class 2 over 1,650 metres. Some really good horses going around in that, the likes of Sunny Star, who was placed in the January Cup last time out, CP Brave, Savaquin, and of course Beauty Joy, who's in some form at the moment. He steps up to the 1,650 for the first time in Hong Kong. Paul, there are jackpots too.
Yeah, two good ones. 6.2 million going into the Triple Trio jackpot, and also 2.9 going into the 6-up win bonus. So a couple of good jackpots there.
Thank you, boys. That's the information as far as a bit of a preview and the jackpots go. The meeting details themselves, they read this way. We're up to meeting number 38 of the season. 9 races on the C course, the rail in the worked back position. First race gets underway at 6:45 and through until the usual finish time of 10 to 11 local. Races 6 and 9, our 2 preview races here on Racing to Win. The 6th are really good, as Tom said, Class 2 over the 1,650 Lantau Island Handicap it is. We've got Telecom Fighters coming back into Class 2. He's a 4-time course and distance winner. Sunny Star was group placed in the January Cup last time. CP Brave's been back to the trial since his last appearance. Savaquin, Joe's had 4 rides on the horse for 2 wins and 2 placings. Beauty Joy, interesting, switches across from Sha Tin to Happy Valley for the first time and goes up in trip. Zara is still the track record holder over the 1,650. Bear again has his first start for David Hall, and Rocket Spade, a 4-year-old series contender, has a run around at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Righto, Tom, so we're running the 1,650 for this one, and the pace anticipated to be good to slow.
Pace might only be moderate in this race with Bear again and Telecom Fighters. Telecom Fighters had a really tough run last start on the all-weather at Sha Tin. Where does Beauty Joy end up, Paul, from barrier 4?
Yeah, up to 1,650. I think he can go forward. I don't think Bear again's got the pace, so I think he'll be happy just to take a sit. Beauty Joy. Solar YY's got an inside draw. He's another one that likes to be handy. I don't think anyone necessarily needs to race wide here with a smallish field. I suppose to query CP Brave because he does like to go forward, but with the wide draw, I just wonder if they'll try and slot in. That'd be the query, CP Brave for me.
And that is the speed map for race number 6. Beauty Joy has been a bit of a focus already so far on the show. His rider is Zach Purton.
Zach, Beauty Joy will line up for the 3rd time this season, this time at Happy Valley. You're back on board, and he's a decent type of horse, isn't he? Yeah,
both his runs this season have been good. He's been to the Valley for a trial previously, so he's somewhat familiar with the course, and he's drawn a nice gate, so hopefully he can just find himself in the right spot and give us a nice run.
On that trial at the Valley, it was a fair way ago now. I think it was December of 2020. Did he always give you the impression that that sort of track would suit him?
He's a lightly framed horse, and quite often those horses can get around the tight track quite well. But he was quite adaptable overseas before he come here, and he's been able to adapt to wherever he's gone here as well. So I don't see the track being a problem for him.
Just on the headgear he wears now, in that trial he didn't sport a hood or a tongue tie. He's been wearing it this season and he seems to have really elevated his form. Has that made a big difference in your mind?
Possibly. Obviously he changed stables. He was lightly raced when he first came here, and then he changed stables. So Tony's obviously been tinkering with the gear a little bit, and he seems to think that that's what the horse needs. So that's why it's on there.
Just on his running style, I mean, he has been obviously going forward. There's a little bit of tempo in the race. Is he a horse that necessarily has to lead?
I don't think he has to. I rode him in a trial and he sat behind, so he can adapt. Yeah.
And just obviously looking ahead, obviously we've got the 4-year-old series coming up. That's seemingly heating up quite nicely, and quite a bit to look forward to there.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a strong year this year. There are a number of chances from a number of different stables as well. It's competitive, and the melting pot's all sort of coming together at the right time. So we'll know more obviously after the Classic Mile heading towards the Derby, but it's an exciting year, I think.
And on your mount, Packing Victory, have you had a chance to have a sit on him recently?
Yeah, I worked him at the end of last week, and he's working well. He's come through his last run really good. He's striding out well, so he just continues to do what he needs to do. He seems to be getting stronger all the time, and hopefully he continues to progress the right way.
got a great attitude, does Packing Victory. Nick out of track work talking to Zach this morning. Paul, Beauty Joy, that trial at Happy Valley you had was over 12 months ago.
Yeah, a long time ago now, but it just shows you can handle the track. The horse has been running really well. He's got some rock-solid form as well. Packing Victory is going so well at the moment, and it goes in the 4-year-old series, and then he beat the Irishman as well. He's another 4-year-old series contender who ran well again next time. So I think the horse is coming in with some really solid form lines.
Tom?
Yeah, he's coming in with some good form lines, that's for sure, is this horse, Beauty Joy, and he looks to be one of the leading chances in the race. From barrier number 4, he should really get an ideal run.
Next replay is going back 2 starts ago for Sunny Star. He's winning. This is over the 1650, Tom, where he does race well. We'll see his next start after this. We've also got Telecom Fighter, Sunshine Warrior, Solar, YY, Sava, Quinn and Bear again in this replay.
Yeah, so the form has stacked up out of this race pretty well, because it's Beluga down the outside there, who's since come out and won at Sha Tin. And he always tries so hard, this horse. He only had to carry 118 there. Last start he was carrying 113, but he's back up in the weights here carrying the 127.
Yeah, so he's got to carry those weights. But look, the horse is consistent, and we know he really likes it here at Happy Valley, so he goes in for me.
He's the January Cup, Paul. Now, this was 1,800 metres. He's a 3-time 1650 metre winner.
Yeah, he is. So, look, he finished off this race nicely enough behind Zabrowski. It was a good run once again from him. As Tom said, he did have the real lightweight coming into this. But I suppose the promising things here now is he's back to his ideal distance.
And you can see his record there overall. He's a 5-time winner, the 3 of them course and distance. He's still an entire, this horse. So interesting they've kept him a full horse for his career so far in Hong Kong, but doesn't seem to affect the way he races. He's normally pretty honest.
Some of his further race rivals now, Paul. Now, CP Brave has had a couple of trials since this last start, but they've been more quiet trials, so we're going back to the replay of his appearance on the 21st of November.
Yeah, a good run from here. So we haven't seen him out at the races for a while. He kept running into Celestial Power, who was in great form. But he did finish close up in both these races. It's just a draw for me. That's why I didn't go in the end. I just don't know where he's going to end up in the run, whether they'll take him back.
It did hit here for 4th for him. That's Zabrowski to his outside, of course, we saw in the previous replay. He's only beaten a neck there, so he's had that freshen up, and he does normally go well fresh, this horse, so I'd certainly be keeping him safe.
And next replay here, Tom. This is Rocket Spade. Now, he's an interesting runner on Wednesday night because he's possibly targeting the Classic Mile still. Here's his first 300 metres. He's got very keen in the early stages of his first 2 Hong Kong starts.
He has. We'll look at the sections they ran last night, 25.11, 24.94, and he just pulled his block off back at the end there. So I'm prepared to give him a little excuse for that run, and second up if you were subscribed to that theory. He just whacked away here in the straight, Paul, with all that energy he used in the early stages there. Hasn't had a barrier trial here at Happy Valley before, but I'm prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's the query. If you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, then we know he's got some class form from overseas. His first up run wasn't too bad. This one, as you say, he pulled. He did a lot of things wrong. You don't want to do that round Happy Valley.
Switch of tracks to just try and obviously settle him down, leading towards the Classic Mile if he continues to go that way. Selections, Paul, for a good quality race number 6.
Yeah, I've got Beauty Joy on top here. I think the horse comes with some good form lines. Been to Happy Valley before, and I think he can win this. So from Barry, he doesn't have to lead. I think if Bear again goes, and I think he will, he can just sit in behind him. Sunny Star is the Valley specialist, as is Savaquin. Savaquin's a 2 times course and distance winner. He won't be too far away. And I thought Solar YY will get a nice run just in behind. So 6, 2, 4 and 5 for me.
Looking for some value in this race, I'm going with the Sunshine Warrior, who I don't think he had all the favours the last start. He's a 3-time course and distance winner. He was a little bit slow and awkward out, but look, he was beyond midfield and just ran out of room late. He's had a barrier trial since, so 8 on top. Over number 10, Rocket Spade, going to give him the benefit of the doubt of his last start performance where he got keen. 3, CP Brave, and 6, Beauty Joy. So 8, 10, 3 and 6.
And that is the preview for race number 6. We're off to a break here on Racing to Win. Back to have a look at the 9th right after this. And welcome back to Racing to Win. This is Hong Kong's twice weekly preview show, looking at Happy Valley on Wednesday night and on to race number 9. Now it's a Class 3 over the 1,200 metres. Transcendent comes back to the Valley after a start on the all-weather. California Concord and Diamond Brilliant, they both raced wide last time. California Concord draws 12, Diamond Brilliant 6 this week. Simply Fluke, he's on a 7-day backup. Further down the page, we've got Majestic Star having his second start for Danny Shum. He was a winner here over the 1,200 metres previously. Wood on Fire's won 5 over the 1,200 metres. Tornado Phantom comes back up into Class 3 following his last start win. We've got Let's Do It, who trialled here in January of 2021, making his Happy Valley debut. And Eason, Tom, Happy Valley Class 3 debut. No trials here, but he did win Dowd in grade last time. As we check out the speed map for the last, and we've got Eason, the leader.
And he did well off the front last start, did Eason, or near the pace anyway. And he's drawn gate number 11 here, Paul, and the horse to his outside, California Concord, and barrier number 12. So they're likely to be the two that come across and set up the tempo. Yeah,
it looks that way, doesn't it? Which means Diamond Brilliant can get himself into a nice position. Now, the favourite, or early favourite, Tornado Phantom, has gone back. He's drawn a little bit awkward in barrier number 9, so we'll see what happens with him. He's towards the back. He might have to go all the way back to save a 3-wide run with Tornado Phantom. We know Simply Fluke likes to get back as well. Loving a Boom, there's a few back runners in this race.
One horse which will be a pace angle in the last race on a good tempo is Eason, who's a last start winner. Nick was at track work on this Tuesday morning to have a chat to Frankie Law.
Frankie, you've got Eason turning up at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. He was pretty good when winning last time.
Yes, he won really good. And now he's go up to Class 3 and the lightweight. So I tried to put him in Happy Valley to see, but unfortunately he got draw 11.
He's always shown a good attitude. He did last time. Has he been a very sort of easy horse to come to hand? I mean, he only had, I think, 3 trials, and now he's run 2 very good races.
Yeah, I think he's really easy to ride, and then he's got some gate speed. So depends by tomorrow night. In front one is better, or he can behind. So I think maybe we can have a look first 2 races. If the pace is good, I think maybe we'll put him in front, yeah.
And has he always struck you like a horse that could handle Happy Valley? He looks like an easy horse to sort of, place during the race.
Yeah, he looks easy, so I don't think he cannot handle the track. I think it should be okay for him.
And Matthew Poon rides, obviously, as you mentioned, a lightweight. That's going to be a big help as well. Matthew's riding well at the moment.
Yeah. He came 2 pounds, good for the young horse, and then lightweight, yeah.
And just on this morning, we saw Far go round in batch number 2. Were you happy with him? He looked to be doing his best work late.
Yeah. I just bring him back to from Chung Fa and let Alex ride him for the trial, so he will know the horse more after the trial. He tell me the form's good.
And obviously he's got an entry in both the Classic Mile and the BMW Hong Kong Derby. He's still very much on course for those races, and you're happy with him going into those?
Yes, for me, his good form, distance, no problem for him, sure. And only the track, we don't know yet. So before the first 3 races in Sha Tin, and then after this 3 races, I sent him to Happy Valley, win few races for me. But I think he still can handle the track in Sha Tin, no problem, I think.
So, and obviously no concern, as you say, with Sha Tin. You're pretty confident he will handle the track there?
Of course, I think. Because the 3rd race, he raced in here, 1400. Yeah. The last quarter, he finished good, so I think he can handle the track.
It was a very strong trial, Paul. You're the president of the Far fan club. Finished off superbly well.
He did, didn't he? A really nice trial. And look, he's definitely adds an extra form line going into the 4-year-old series, because obviously he's been running solely at Happy Valley. He did run on, as Frankie said there, in his 1 start at Sha Tin. So look, if he handles Sha Tin, he's got the rating, and the distance isn't going to be a problem. That's Far. And what about Eason, Tom? I know you're all over Eason last start. How do you think he'll go on Wednesday night?
I think he can win, Paul. I think he's got a good enough gate speed to get across from barrier number 11 and to lead them here. He was up on the pace last time out, and with a light weight on his back, I think he's going to be tough to beat.
All right, so it's a good report for Eason. Here is some of the other horses that he's taking on, and we're going to start, Tom, with Loving a Boom, who hasn't won for a long time but is always running on strongly at the end of his races. Wood on Fire, good record course and distance, and All in Mine hasn't been with new trainer Chris So for too long.
Yeah, Wood on Fire was caught 3 wide and just battled to last up. He is a 5-time course and distance winner. Loving a Boom, you've got to take him on trust. He's just a one-time winner. And All in Mine, I just wonder about Happy Valley for him. He was caught wide at the rear and covered a bit of ground. Yes, he is drawn a bit better, but he's only a one-time winner from 23.
Yeah, it was off a higher rating though, and the thing with him, he hasn't had any luck with his draws. 12, 10, 9, 8, 10. Barrier 1, look at a price. Look, I think he's a chance in this.
All right, that is All in Mine. Vincent Ho takes the ride, and that race was on the 22nd of December, so around a month between runs for him. Second replay is Diamond Brilliant here, Paul. Now, he did get trapped wide in this race, but he's just such a consistent horse around Happy Valley in particular, and he draws barrier 6. He had gate 9 this night.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, if he can get in behind the pace, because he has got that early gate speed and put himself into a nice position, then, look, he'll have to be a chance as well. He's been consistent. Obviously, that 8th was probably his worst run that we've seen for a little while, but... and he just sort of finished. I didn't quite get him in though, Tom. I thought there's some other good horses in this race.
Yeah, as Mark said before, he covered ground last start, but he's only missed a top 3 placing course and distance on one occasion, so he probably has to be respected from a draw of gate number 6, but he was another one I couldn't quite squeeze into the mix here.
All right, so it's a watch on Diamond Brilliant. Simply Fluke here, Tom. Now, he's on a 7-day backup, so this is last week, and he drew barrier number 4. He's wider in 10, which doesn't really normally worry him because he gets back anyway. He has placed on a 7-day backup in the past too.
Yeah, and he was, I thought, quite good last Wednesday night at Happy Valley. He made inroads late in the race, only beaten a neck there behind Super Dobbin. It was a bit of a queue-up for the finish there with Party Warrior. But just like the way he dashed here, Paul, over the last 100 metres, Simply Fluke.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get with him. He gets back and he runs on late. So he'll want a bit of pace on, and he'll do what he normally does. Again, I couldn't quite get him in the numbers though.
4 times he has won over the 1,200 metres around Happy Valley. Super Dobbin, the winner, that's Party Warrior on the outside, and Colonel running 4th in that race. We switch across to the all-weather, Paul. This is Majestic Star. He was having his first start for the new stable of Danny Shum this night. The other horse in this race is Transcendent, who was able to turn his form around when he came back to Happy Valley. However, his last few starts on the turf, the starts have been an issue with him. Yeah,
133 as well he has to carry. Look, he didn't get in Transcendent. I did get Majestic Star in though. The horse has been racing really consistently recently, and the win I thought here over the course and distance was pretty strong.
He was a bit slow out last start, Majestic Star, and then raced a bit keenly, but he got a little bit tight over the final stage as well here late, but it was still a good run on what was a busy finish behind the inform Elon. So he makes it into the top 4, I think, on that last start performance. Drawn 7 with Zach Purton jumping on board.
That's quadruple double in the light blue cap to their inside. He placed at Sha Tin on the weekend, so the format of that race has held up quite okay. That is Majestic Star. One more to have a look at here, Tom, and it's Tornado Phantom. Now, he's had such an interesting campaign this time. And he was thrown straight to the 1650 by John Size, and then brought back to the 1400, dropped back to the 1200 metres of this race, and he was hard ridden here as we pick up the replay from the 500, but the further they went, the better. He just kept looking.
He did, and look, he was covering ground pretty much the whole race as well there over the 1200 metres, 3 wide at the back of the field. So even if he does have to cover a bit of ground from barrier number 9 on this sort of performance here, the way took that corner on as well, he was very wide, but still had a lot left at the end, Paul, when he launched late here over the top of Shadow Runner and co. So it was a pretty bold performance considering the ground he covered.
Yeah, definitely. This was only his second win too since he'd won as a Griffin, but shows he's back to some of that form now, and look, he definitely goes in for me. I thought it was a top run from this horse.
And we'll see Shadow Runner running earlier in the program as well. He was very heavily backed in that race, Shadow Runner, and it took Tornado Phantom to run over the top of him to beat him. Your selections for the 9th and final race on the program, Paul.
Yeah, really open race to finish off here in the last. So I'm going to go with All in Mine from barrier number 1. I think he can get a lot better run this time, and he should be a decent price. 12, 13 to 1 he is at the moment. Tornado Phantom, look, it was a great run from him, and he looks tough to beat. Majestic Star just in there for 3rd. His run on the all-weather was good, and he is a course and distance winner. And Wood on Fire gets back, he runs on strongly as well. So 6, 9, 7 and 8 for me.
I'm sticking with Easton here. Yes, it's never easy for the 3-year-olds here up in grade against the older horses, but won really well last start and was good prior to that on debut behind Country Boy. So he's on top, number 11 Easton, over 9 Toronado Phantom, 7 Majestic Star, and 5 Simply Fluke on the 7-day backup. So 11, 9, 7 and 5.
Thank you, Tom. So that's a preview for races 6 and 9 on this part of racing to win. There are another 7 races on the program, Paul, and who's caught your eye that we should be following in those 7 races?
Yeah, some good even races earlier on in the card. I do like Dice's Colin, who's been downgraded in the first. I think he can run a bit of a race. Stormtrooper has had a bit of a break, but he's the last start winner. He's put 20 pounds on, which is a good thing, I think, for him. Sunny Delight's coming to Happy Valley for the first time, but I think he'll run well. He does like to go to the front up to 16.50. Lucky Archangel was a good winner last time. I think Frankie Law's got plenty of good chances. Coming up, Beauty Joy, we've already had a really good conversation about. And the runner, I'm going to stick with him as well. He was a good winner last time as well.
And you can see each and every race preview at hkjc.com. Click on audio and video for a race-by-race analysis. Your best bet out of those 9, Paul?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a horse that Lucky Archangel was the last start winner when he finally got a barrier draw. He's got another good draw in barrier number 5. He can get himself into a nice position. I think he can go on and win again. Sunny Delight's coming to Happy Valley for the first time. He has shown some form there from his 7 starts. I think it's a course that's going to suit him up and trip as well. And we'll do the play in that race with Loyal Baby, Amazing News and Sunny Delight, QQP 1, 4 and 7 in that race.
Best for me comes up in the 7th race with Seizing the Moment, John Sison to Joe Moreira, race 7, number 11, having his 5th start here. Sunshine Warrior, some value in the 6th race, the Class 2 race for Wagner Borders and Tony Cruz, and the play with Winning Method, the runner, and Seizing the Moment.
He's a favourite horse, Stormtrooper. He's back first time since October. No trials and drawn 12, but he's got plenty of ability. So race 3, number 1. Race 5, number 5, Sugar Sugar. Blake Shin for Casper Founds beat on point in a trial around Happy Valley. And the forecast 1, Stormtrooper, and the very well-rated What a Legend 1 and 3. That's a look at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Tom, Golden 60 tries to equal history on Sunday.
He certainly does, of course, with the Silent Witness. That race coming up in the Stewards Cup. He faces 6 other rivals there, and of course we've got the Centenary Sprint Cup as well for the sprinters.
Yeah, it's a really, really good racing coming up on the weekend. Should be good.
It will indeed. That has been Racing to Win. We'll see you at Happy Valley for race 1 at 6:45 on Wednesday night. Bye-bye.